My people, welcome back to Tunex TV channel. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing great. I've got something very interesting for you today, which is those things to put into consideration as soon as you arrive in the United Kingdom as a student. The very first thing you need to put into consideration is making sure your apartment is set and ready for you, ready to welcome you. That is very important, because getting an Airbnb or an hotel is freaking expensive. You have to be paying like £60 per night or 55 if you go a very cheap one. So you have to put this into consideration. It's very important, making sure your accommodation is ready for you, because most times when you come in, they'll just tell you, oh, okay, we've got you booked already, but we just have to make sure the accommodation is ready. It will have to be ready in 2 days, 48 hours. They're just gonna give you some kind of timeline, you know what I mean? So it's very important for you to just make sure you've got a very good communication with the agent. Like, make sure you're always updating the agent or the school whatsoever, like be it student accommodation or an accommodation off campus. Just make sure you are always updating whoever is in charge of the apartment that you'd like it to be ready, and you'd give them the exact date you'll be coming into the UK, the time, so they could get it ready for you, so you don't get disappointed. Because I have a friend that he has to go scout with someone he doesn't know. The accommodation had to plead, and they're like, the room is not ready yet, and there's nothing they could do to that. So he was with his loads inside the code, and he's got no extra funds on him to book an hotel. That is very important. Please, my people, when you just come in, I know this is the rush hour for the September intake. For those that just got admitted into schools in the UK, I congratulate every one of you. Welcome on board. Welcome to face the real hustle. Yeah, number two, you have to put number two is getting an accommodation very close to your school environment. Yeah, you know that already. Then after your accommodation being settled, probably if you came in over the weekend, then you could just settle and go to school on Monday, whatever date your school is opening for your session. So the most important thing is your enrollment, because as soon as you enter the UK, you have to let your school know that you've arrived, and you have to enroll as a student, because that's what's bringing you into the UK. You have to do your enrollment, which entails you bringing all certificate that you use in applying online. If you've not submitted any physical certificate that you just submitted scanned copy, your enrollment is very during your enrollment, you have to have all of your copies, original and photocopies, in hard copies. You have to have them at hand. Very important. Most likely the original copies, be it your passport, your anything you use in applying for your course of study. So your BSc certificate, your transcript, your what's it called, your first school living certificate, your WAEC, everything must be in place, because the school want to see everything you've uploaded and see it in the physical. So these are the things you need to get set for your enrollment. So as soon as your enrollment is done, the next step is for you to get your BRP, which is your biometric resident permit. This is what allows you to work. This is what serves as a means of identification as a student in the United Kingdom, and this is what gives you the legal stay. You don't need to take your passport around. No, when you have your biometrics, which is your BRP, it stands as a means of identification wherever you find yourself. So after getting your BRP, the next step is for you to apply for your NI. Your NI is your national insurance. This is what allows you to work legally. With your NI, you're allowed to work your 20 hours. Your NI is what you get being taxed for, and every other thing you do regarding occupation. So that is very important. You apply for your NI. At times it might just take 7 to 10 working days, and at times is lesser than that. So your BRP is either while making your application, probably you wanted it in a school in the school or a post office. Like mine, I got mine from the post office. So you could get yours in the school, depending on what you filled in your form while applying to the school, that you want to pick up in school or post office, depending on what you fill in. So you apply for your NI. When your NI get back to you, which is very important, you're not allowed to share your NI with anyone. It is a personal details and very, very important for you regarding any job you find yourself. So another thing for you to consider very important is your timetable. That's very, very important. Your timetable, your school ID card will be given to you as soon as your enrollment is done, and you have to have your timetable at hand. I would like to tell you not to try to skip classes. It's not done over here. All of your classes try to attend, and if you feel ill or you're mentally stressed, you could inform the school on time. Send an email. That's very important. Always keep your school updated, because they are the reason why you're here. You can send an email to the school and let them know on time while you'll be unable to meet up to the class, because I can tell you, if you're less than 80% in terms of your attendance, you'll be unable to write exams and you'll be disqualified for some assignment as well. So these are things to put into consideration. Very, very important things to do, like the to-do things. You know, when you have the to-do things on your notification board, like they're very important. Those are the things to do when you come into the UK. Your accommodation, your enrollment, getting your BRP, getting your NI done. And one more thing to do is applying for a job here as a student, at least a job that could give you 20 hours. There's so many jobs, the healthcare jobs and everything. You've got that in my previous video. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Tunex TV. Hope to see more of you. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button. That's very important. Yeah, I love you all. Have a good day.